transfer deadline day ended for a few days ago, and Chelsea missed out on capturing Victor Osimhen to be the focal point up front, and that leaves Maresca with only 2 strikers to turn to, and that is Jackson and Guiu. I think Guiu is a very young, promising guy, but he's very raw and needs to develop a lot of aspects of his game. Jackson had a promising season on the Pochettino, has had a solid start on the Enzo Maresca, but he's not clinical and composed enough in front of goal. But I mean, the other aspects of his game in terms of link-up play, technical attributes and being fast is exceptionally well. But if he gets injured, are we then gonna turn to a Guiu perhaps in some games? We also gonna have to rotate the starting 11 throughout the season. We can't have Jackson starting every single game, and that got me thinking, what if we tried a false 9 in some games? What if Enzo Maresca could experiment a little bit? Because if you don't try something out, you will never find out. So I have 3 players in mind that I think could suit the false 9 role, and I'm gonna go through them in this video. I'm also gonna talk briefly around the positives and downsides by using a false 9. So before we continue any further in this video, as usually, if you want to be a legend for me, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page and hit that notification bell down below. For me, a false 9 is a striker that is similar to a deep line forward. Their starting position is like a traditional number 9, but when in possession, they have responsibility of dropping down into advanced midfield areas and link up with the teammates and create havoc for the opposition defense. Now, the only difference between them is, I think a deep line forward is someone that's using their physical attributes to create for others, whilst the false 9 is using their technical attributes. And we have plenty of them in this team with good technical attributes. And a false 9 for me is going to be the playmaker of the team. He's someone that's gonna create for his teammates, and then you're gonna need others that take advantage of it and finishing off the chances. So what is the benefits of a false 9? Well, the benefit is, of course, as I mentioned, to create havoc for the opposition backline, because it's going to create a dilemma for the center back if they're gonna follow the false 9 when he's dropping down to the midfield, or if he's gonna stay in line and keep his shape. But if the center back is staying in line and keeping his shape, he can then create an overload in the midfield by having an extra player, and that allows us to play through the opposition midfield. However, if the center back follows the false 9, it's gonna open up spaces for through balls and runs behind the back line, and that's where the false 9 can really be useful if it's used in the correct way. And then you can have fast players like Mudryk, Nero, Madueke, nkunku attacking those spaces and coming 1 versus 1 against the goalkeeper. That could be very interesting to see. So for me, it's very effective against high and mid blocks. False 9 going to be the playmaker, using their technical attributes in terms of having a close ball control, a great first touch. They have quick movement in terms of quick turns. They can go past players in 1 versus 1 situations, and they also need a great vision to make those through balls to players running behind the back line. And another benefit of having a false 9 is that they can also make late runs into the box and score from cutback passes, which is very difficult for our defense to defend. The downsides, I would say, is that a false 9 is typically not a physical player and can struggle against big physical players, and they can also struggle to score goals when facing low block teams, which there are tons of in Premier League. You need to really have the right player in that role. You really need to have a good tactical setup that's gonna get the best out of him, and you have to find a way how you're gonna break down low blocks. But maybe Enzo Maresca can find solutions for that. Which player could suit the false 9 role in this team? Well, the 3 players I'm thinking of is João Felix, Cole Palmer and Christopher Nkunku. If we're looking at their FBref stats, now I'm using one stat for João Felix when he was at Atleti and played as a second striker. I use stats from Nkunku back at Leipzig when he was one of the 10s behind the striker up front. And I'm also using stats from Cole Palmer last season, and they're all good in possession in terms of progressive passes, carries up the pitch, touches in the opposition box, and I think they all can suit that false 9 role. Nkunku is very good at attacking the space behind the back line, and imagine then if you have a João Felix Palmer up front coming down to the midfield, linking up, and then Nkunku makes a run behind the back line. I definitely think that could work out. And then you're having fast wingers in Mudryk, Madueke, Neto, Sancho to attack those spaces that open up behind the opposition backline. And then you're having Palmer, João Felix playing the through balls, or Caicedo, Lavia, Fernandes. They all 3 have great technical attributes, great at attacking the box and arrive late and being at the right place at the right time. You saw one of those goals were scored from João Felix when we faced the Wolves, where Neto made a cutback pass to João Felix and he finished the chance with a first time finish. Also have wingers that is great in terms of scoring goals, especially Madueke and Neto. I would say though that Mihailo Mudryk needs to improve his off-ball movement, so when that space open up, he needs to attack that, and I think he can struggle with that in some occasions. Nicholas Jackson is very fast, he can be utilized as a winger, as a left winger, and attack the spaces behind too. So very interesting to see how Enzo Maresca could have a false 9 working in his setup. I think they are all 3 players that is extremely versatile, is excelling in their technical attributes, they are intelligent as well, absolute ballers, and I think I would be very keen on seeing this type of system developing throughout the season, and it will allow Enzo Maresca to even have more flexibility in terms of picking the lineup, and it will also be more difficult for opponents to know what we're gonna do ahead of a game. Let me know your thoughts and opinions if you think a false 9 would work out, and if you would like to see a false 9, who would you then play in that role? Would it be Nkunku, Palmer, or a João Felix? Let me know that, and thank you so much for watching guys, and I'm out. Peace.